Battsetseg Soronzonbold.
At
Up a weight here. Pinned Elena Pirskova in the semifinals in a battle of world finalists.
Yeah, she had tough matches on the way up here, winning a close match against Othel Lucas, and then pinning Elena. So
well, here's the scary thing about Soronzonbold is I think she's just getting better and better. At 20 years old, was the world champion at the senior level, but was only 5th at the Junior Worlds the same year. So about a month prior, taking 5th and then winning.
I watch her with her coaches, and she's just so reserved. You can tell that she just listens to everything that they say, and she just keeps her composure out there.
Actually, oddly enough, a 10-year age difference, almost to the day. Soronzonbold born May 3rd, 1990, while Michalik born May 2nd, 1980. Just nuggets of factual information put together by Gary Abbott and Craig Sesker of the communications department. We're scoreless here in period number 1. So under a minute to go. Soronzonbold had to walk over to the Mongolian coaches earlier before the round to get some pronunciation. This one I didn't have a problem with, but wait till we get to heavyweight. 45 to go. No score. Michalik of Poland. 06 and 07, again, world bronze medalist. Was 5th in the 09 World Championships. Trying to come around is Soronzonbold. Hanging out, and looks like they're both waiting for a restart. Don't know if they're going to get it. Apparently not with 20 to go. 9th in the Junior Worlds in 2009, so a rapid rise to prominence for Battsetseg Soronzonbold of Mongolia. She is that country's first world champion in women's freestyle. And we will go to the dreaded ball draw. We don't need no stinking ball draw. Dun, 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 dun. Now, in Russia at the Worlds, you reached in the bag and you pulled out a Matrushka, and inside the Matrushka doll was a blue or red ball. This one will be blue, and that means Michalik will have the chance to clinch. Up with the leg is Michalik, now just trying to drive and walk Battsetseg Soronzonbold out of bounds for the push out. And Lee, in that leg clinch position, is that seeming to be the position of favor, is lift the leg and drive out of bounds, or do you try to finish the takedown?
I think if you can lift if you can lift the person off the ground, you're at an advantage. I mean, if they don't have any legs to plant, then you can just walk them out of bounds and set them down. So I think most of the time you're going to try to bring them up and bring them close to the edge so that you can get that push-out point.
Now, one thing to note about that, if you snatch the leg and walk it straight out of bounds, you actually have to, the foot has to come down bounds before going out of bounds, or else it's, I think it's technically a cloud. We saw it in Fargo. It's like you take it out, you walk it out, and you drop them out. Well, you're basically delaying action. There's something in the rule book about that. I mean, no, you got to make sure they hit before they go out.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Might want to verify the FILA rule book on that. So I don't want you to be I don't want you to be in a match and lose because of something I said on a webcast by any means.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But it's good. It's good info. Those tips count. Such different styles of wrestling between Americans and the rest of the world. I think we're close to Canada, so we have similar wrestling styles. We move our feet a lot, looking, misdirection and
foot sweep attempt. Did you see that? Looked at that 2-on-1 tie. Looked for a near foot sweep. Maybe a little judo influence there by Soronzonbold. Mongolia kind of coming into its own as a women's wrestling nation. You've seen a lot more.
We actually wrestled Mongolia on the way to winning a silver medal in 2008 World Cup. It was 2008, 2007. Whatever team that I was on, we placed silver. Wrestled Mongolia on the way there.
So you just stopped in Ulaanbaatar and had a duel? Or were you talking about in the tournament
We were in Taiyuan, China.
Michalik trying to finish the double. Heavy on the hips of Soronzonbold. Sits down to her butt, and now with a chest lock situation. Nothing
doing.
doing. Still posting. Good mat awareness.
Wow.
By Michalik knowing where she's at, but it might not do her any good. They're both down
and they're
on the
out
mat.
in parterre.
Out in parterre, one blue, white paddle, one blue confirmed for the push out. You know, that's one that also could use a little bit of clarification.
That one was a little hairy. Usually if you go out on your knees, and then it's considered parterre position and no points are awarded.
But no takedown had been decided, so technically it really wasn't parterre. Arm spin attempt, and Soronzonbold is going to come out from behind and get the takedown and effectively take a 1-1 lead. Again, 1-1. It's tied on the scoreboard, but the last point scored is the tiebreaker in this scenario. Now works for the leg lace, and really didn't give her a whole lot of time to set that up, did they?
No, that was a quick whistle.
Elena Peruskova over there wrestling for third place against Justine Bouchard of Canada.
And this is a rematch. They've wrestled several times. I think Elena winning one, and Bouchard winning for her placement in a bronze at the World Championships 2 years ago.
Posting on the head of Soronzonbold, trying to fight off the attack of Michalik. Gotta watch yourself on the edge. Now circling in is Michalik. Cannot quite finish as she lifts around. That whizzer in tight, and we will go to a third period with world champion Battsetseg Soronzonbold of Mongolia in the red and Monika Michalik of Poland. There's been, despite the lack of scoring, been a lot of action here in terms of attacks and, you know,
yeah, they're very technical. Like I said, with Americans, we move our feet a lot. There's not a whole lot of motion when they go for they're setting it up and going for that move. So everything else is just juggling for position, setting the person up, feeling the other person out. But when they go, they go for the takedown, setup and takedown combined in one quick motion.
Now, from an athlete's perspective on the women's wrestling scene, other than Japan, what is the one, like when you travel internationally and you draw opponents, what's one country that when you draw, you're like, oh man, I'm really gonna have to be fighting on this one?
You know, there's a lot of great countries out there. I think depending on which weight class, China is always going to be a tough competitor. You know, we mentioned Japan, but Russia, any number of girls that transplant from other countries into Russia or vice versa. There's just tough people everywhere. Countries are coming up all over the place.
China really made a push to be successful in women's wrestling prior to the 2008 Olympics, and they've kind of kept that success rolling.
They have such depth on their team. When we
got a billion people in the country. Of course there's depth.
We went to the training camp, and their national team is 8 deep. So when one person goes down, like say we have injuries here, number 1 girls are injured, they have another girl right behind them that's just as good.
Working on the edge, Soronzonbold trying to push the edge. Working that underhook to the far side. Actually, it's the over tie, rather. Circling back in. 50 seconds gone by here in period 3. With Soronzonbold of Mongolia and Michalik of Poland. 67 and 72 left to go. We'll see Mongolia one more time. We will not see Poland anymore this tournament on our championship mat.
Foot sweep, there you go.
Judo
She tested it out earlier.
Don't think her leg was quite long enough in that position, but stepping right into it with that trap in the arm with the the Russian tie, and then whoop.
And that foot sweep looked effortless when you hit it.
It really did. It
yes.
almost looked like it was quick, and it looked like Michalik just kind of fell down, but you caught the foot sweep. It's like, okay. That's good analysis, Lee.
Thank you.
30 to go, 1-0 lead for Soronzonbold, who will be making a strong case for OW. And Elena Peruskova will win the bronze medal at 63 over on mat 3. Wrestling at 67 for 5th over on 4.
Coming back to beat Justine is a
push out for Michalik. 7 seconds to go.
I don't know if that's enough time for her to regroup.
Foot sweep time?
Foot sweep time, maybe. She's going to need to make something happen quick.
I don't know. If I'm Michalik, I'm definitely staying away from any tie. And here we go, 6 seconds to go. Collar tie situation 2.
This is the first time.
Wow, they are getting after it, pulling some hair, and they went back and forth. They were pulling each other's hair, and she's like, nope, no, I didn't. That's...
You know what? I'll keep my mouth shut on this one.
You saw something a little differently?
Absolutely.
Or you've gone through a hair pulling
I've actually had
scenario.
the opportunity to wrestle Poland several times in training camps. So
I think that's all you really need to say. In Mongolia, not just going to challenge, they're going to throw the challenge cube ferociously across the mat. Soronzonbold really not happy.
Not taking it very, very hard, which may be an indicator of why she's so good. If you're hard on yourself, you know, I'm sure she'll come back and be stronger in the end.
I don't think this is challengeable, to be honest with you.
I'm not sure there's anything you can do about it. It was really just
because you can't call
you can't
a caution.
Really tell. You know, she had a collar tie. Did she have her hair? Did she not have her hair? I mean, it just, you know, sometimes
there's also a punch in there too.
There was a punch in there. It's the first time I've seen it. I just said that Mongolia kept her composure and she was reserved, and I think I'm eating my words now.
So this will be interesting. Not sure what the discussion is leading to.
I think the bottom line is that she gave up a late takedown and left it for 7 seconds up, you know, on the clock, and that was going to be difficult for her to come back for. So I think in this situation, you know, experience would say, okay, I need to go back and look at what I could have done better in this match in order to make sure it turned out differently.
Soronzonbold really not happy, showing a lot of emotion. Mongolian coach asking why there was nothing for the hair pull, but